Hey guys, trying a little bit of a different angle today because I always feel like I have to readjust and sit on my feet because this is too high. So I try to figure out a way to lower it some so that you can see me. I'm up close. So let's get started. It has been, honestly, I was going to look before this and see what the last video, like how far I got in my progress and what whips I showed. Basically, if it was still piled up on my coffee table, because that's kind of my system, it piles up on the coffee table, and when I'm like, I've got to clean this, is when I know I need to do a video. So I have now went through the stuff on the coffee table and made little piles and nests around me. So yeah, this may be the last video that you guys see me here. There's big change coming in the Svarro household. One of the reasons I haven't filmed is Jim and I are buying a house. We are so excited. Now we own this place, but it basically feels like a rental that we own because it's not a house. It's like a townhouse or a condo, whatever you call it where you are. It's more than one story, but we have a neighbor through this wall, like literally on the other side of this wall, and a neighbor on the other side of that wall. And it's noisy. And I believe in this section we might be one of the only people that actually own. It's a lot of renters. And nothing against anybody that rents, but in the area that we're in, people don't necessarily take care of their rentals the way that they do if they own. And you can see rental neighborhoods versus owner neighborhoods in the location where we live. Now, it's different in other parts of the U.S. and I'm sure different parts of the world. So we are ready to get into a owner neighborhood. So yeah, we should close on our house in mid-September. So maybe one more video after this in this home. I'm so excited. Jim bought this house before we got married. A little Jim and Emily history. I have known Jim and been with him for approximately 10 years. We met very early change of year, 2007, 2008. We both moved here, like in the fall of 2007. So we met, we dated some. I was in a stage of my life where I was questioning my decision making and I had huge commitment issues. So we broke up a couple of times and got back together and broke up and got back together. And then right before I moved in with him here, which would have been over 8 years ago. Is that right? Yeah, it was 2010. So right before I moved in with him here in 2010, and we had gotten back together, he bought this place during a time that we weren't together. So he bought this place completely solo on his own. So this was his place that he bought. And I have never gone through the process of buying a house. So this will be my first home purchase. My first home with Jim that we picked out together. My first home with Jim that we walked in together and said, this is the one. So while I have some sentimental attachment to this place in that it was the first place that we actually lived in together, I'm ready. I'm ready for this new place because it's wonderful. It's a little bit bigger than this. Like we'll have a real dining room. We'll have one extra bedroom, although the 2 extra bedrooms are smaller. Dharma's a little nervous. She's going to be a basket case. I'm going to need you guys to help me get through moving with cats. But yeah, there is an actual dining room, an extra bedroom, although both of the other bedrooms are smaller, but the master is a little bigger. We have a real master bath feel, while right now our townhouse has 2 tiny bathrooms. And there's a porch on the front, there's a porch on the back. The kitchen is bigger, which was a must-have for Jim and I, because when we're both in our tiny little hallway gallery kitchen, which is what we have now, there's not room for both of us to be in there and cooking, or we bump into each other. And like, if somebody opens the refrigerator, you got to wait until they're done to walk by because the door takes up all of the room. It's just, we need more space. Our hobbies have outgrown the space. There was something else. Oh, it has a fireplace. So I'll actually be able to decorate the way I feel a home should be decorated for Christmas, because I always grew up with a fireplace. Oh, Dharma. So that's happening. Lots of chaos, lots of change induced anxiety and stress. I actually took some melatonin before bed last night because like this process has been going great. Like it has been pretty easy. Things just seem to be falling into place. But with any change comes stress. So like I've been waking up in the middle of the night thinking about it and worrying about things. So last night I took a little melatonin to help me sleep. So if I look like I have a bit of a melatonin hangover, that's what's going on. So that's the big news with us and Dharma and Buster. Isn't that right, sweetheart? What is that? Oh, she's such a sweet girl. Big changes. Big changes. I'm not going to bore you guys with this anymore because I've been going on and on about this for 7 minutes. But, you know, we're excited. What should we do first? I have so much stuff. Let's do whips. That's actually not a whip. I just got stuck up here. Let's open this up. Let's show you guys where I am on Village, because I think the last time you saw it, I had not completed the block that I have completed. There's a cat in my lap, so I'm maneuvering around that. So, you need to know that yes, this is going to have Dharma here on it, that I completed this block on Village of Hawthorne Hollow. See these little ears? This may be the next thing I go back to, because I still really want to have a finish this year on this. I want this hanging in my new house. And honestly, that's been driving me on at least one project, because I'll get to that. We're not there yet. So, Village of Hawthorne Hollow, progress there. Tracy P. and I started this. Okay, we're moving. And Michelle, Cozy Egg, and Trisha, 3 Owl Threads. I don't know if Trisha started hers yet, but her plan was to start it with us, or at least soon. This is the new Barbara Anna 3-piece release. This is part 1. I kind of changed the colors as I went because I wanted a few hand-dyeds in there. I'm pulling from what I had in stash. I didn't want to buy anything extra really for this. I did buy a piece of Pictures Plus Murky to put it on because I didn't have a piece of 32 count. So Tracy and I are working on this. Tracy, we need to start. Of course, Tracy's so behind on videos. I'll message you, Tracy. We need to start part 2 because I would like to get this done for the new house too. So this is a really fun piece, and it's only going to be 3 parts, so it's not a huge piece. It's not going to take a lot of time. Love it. And I have that in this bag, which I don't know if you guys saw my necklace or not. Jim got this for me for Christmas. Of course, it hangs right in my cleavage. It needs to be just a little shorter. So there's that. I don't know if you have seen how far I got on hoity-toity. This, if you watch Diana's most recent video, she showed a bag that I made for her. This is the bag she made for me. We did a little bag swap. So this is a really fun, you guys know I love orange. This is a really fun Emily batik, and it's lined in this fabric with coins. I got this baby full. This is what I have hoity-toity in. Hoity-toity. I'm changing this over to my own floss colors, which a lot of these are Victoria Motto. So I have them in the floss away bags, because those just work better for those. This is on a piece of silk weaver, 36 count Arabian Nights. That is what this is on. Not super far on this. This is also one I want to get a lot of work in on, but I say that about all of my projects, so we'll see where I go next. It's really pretty. I'm doing less pinks, more reds and oranges. In fact, I don't know that I really have any pink in this per se. I do like silk weaver fabric. It doesn't have the thick and roughness that my usual Picture This Plus fabric has, but it's a nice fabric. It's not Weeks Dye Works. No offense to those who like Weeks Dye Works, but it's just not my jam. It's too loose. Crinkle, 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 rattle, rattle, rattle. Now's a good time to show another bag that Diana made me, if I haven't shown this already. I think I have, but I tried to use this for a project, this one that I'm about to show. I took what was in this that I hadn't started yet out and was going to put that in it, but the pattern was a little longer than normal, so it was a tight fit. This is one that she's made me. Dharma's playing ball by herself. I love it when she's in a good mood. I started because Tracy P, as soon as I got this, I told her that I had bought it. And she was like, I have that. We should start it right away. Because that's kind of the mood she and I have both been in. So I was like, okay. So we both started Maura Blackburn's Three Things Sampler. It's a really pretty piece. I found this on Stash and Load, the chart only. I think that's where I got it. Maybe Stash and Loading. Tomato, tomato. It says, 3 things are that will never come back. 3 things there are that will never come back. The era shot forth on its destined track, the appointed hour that could not wait, and the helpful word that was spoken too late. At the bottom, it has the name of the stitcher, work the sampler, I entrust my work into thee. I started this the weekend before, okay, I'm talking about the house some more, sorry. When this house went on the market, I got an email from our realtor about it, and it was at the high end of our budget. And I was like, I love it. I love that house, but we can't afford that house. That's not, I don't need to fall in love with it. And then one of my volunteers, who's also a friend of mine at work, she dabbles in realty. And she sent me a text like right after I had shut down the listing, and she said, Emily, this is your house. Look at this. It's awesome. And I was like, Connie, I can't afford that house. I know it's awesome, but don't make me fall in love with it. And then week before last, right after I started this piece, I was looking at my emails and noticed that she had sent me that listing again, and I was like, I can't afford this. The price dropped. The price dropped enough where I was like, maybe we could go look at it. So Jim and I went and looked at it and walked through it, and we both loved it and decided that we were going to put in an offer lower than the listing price and just see what happened. And we put in our offer pretty immediately. We went back and forth with the sellers like one time, and like we came up once from our original offer, and then they accepted. And Jim and I were like, holy shit, I think we just bought a house. Anyway, but I started this right before that whole process started. So I kind of want to finish it. I would like to see this piece finished this year, the piece that I started and finished for our new house, that I was stitching while we were going through the process and the stress and the moving, and I want it. That's what I want. So I am stitching this piece. It's still on my Q-snap because this is what I've been working on today. But it is okay for me to take it off now because I actually am going to move the Q-snap. But I'm stitching this on a piece of Picture This Plus Ale, which is a nice medium brown linen. It's one of my favorites. Ale is actually the fabric that I did my mom's Angel of Love on. Of course, I did that on a 28 count with all those beads. Let me flip this out. Why don't you watch my arm fat jiggle? Yeah, I'm also dieting, so there's some more stress. Yeah. This is where I am so far. I'm changing the colors up a little because, yeah, I'm me. I'm doing it mainly in some earth tones, but with the flowers, I'm bringing in like these purples and blues and teals. So they'll be scattered throughout, but it'll be mostly earth tones. Because I wanted to keep a little to the original piece. But this is a little bit bigger than a fat quarter, so it will come down pretty near the bottom. I maybe should have scooted it up a little, but my framer will be able to do this. Gotta love those Q-snap wrinkles, but they come out because this right here where I'm stitching now was sure enough really wrinkled before I stretched it out. So, you know, goals change. Change happens pretty quickly, and it's okay. I'm excited. You just roll with it. What else do I have to show? I have some gifts. I have some haul. I have some trade/barter. And I have some gem thrifting finds for the new house. Let's start with gifts. Nicole, or Coley, I just know you as Nicole. Is it Coley Oli Oli on Instagram? She sent me a sweet little gift because we have kind of been stitching friends long distance since I realized that this community existed in 2015, maybe. But anyway, she has a shop now with needle minders and more. And she sent me a free needle minder, a little gypsy fortune teller. But I'll bring that up close. Benny's Boutique. Come on, can you focus on that? Benny's Boutique, needle minders and more. This is an Etsy shop, so if you look up Benny's Boutique, B-E-N-I-S, Boutique, it'll come up. She has some really cool stuff on there. She sent me that. She sent me this really cool card, because, I mean, that's so me. I love it. This may get framed for the new house, and a sweet note. Some awesome stickers. Thanks, Nicole. I love these. And 2 limited edition gast threads in greens because, hello, my favorite. One is stems and one is mossy undergrowth. They're really pretty. Speaking of Diana, which I'm sure I've mentioned her, she came back from StitchCon, which I did not go to because it was too close to other things. And she brought me this as a gift. This is Under the Sea Fabrics in Aztec. They had a little piece of it in 36. And she was like, oh, Emily loves burnt orange. She needs this. And she was absolutely right. I did need this, so thank you, Diana. It really is coming out true to color there. When I looked at Aztec on the website, though, it looked really red, but it's not. It's burnt orange. A great fall Halloween color. She also came back with a thread licker or moistener for me. She came back with this for me from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. Cute little cat needle minder. And she came back with this for me. She got one and I got one. Oh, Diana. She gave this to me. She told me who it was from. Maybe it was Amy Baruch. Maybe it wasn't. Oh, I feel terrible. I'll ask her and I'll put it in the notes below. I love these. I'm so excited to actually use them and then use this tin for something else. Look, the mints are little planchettes. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, so cute. Where's this going? Here. I don't think I've been stress buying because I've definitely lowered my spending because I was like, we're buying a house. I mean, like I've been paying for inspectors and all that stuff. So this is from Belinda, Aussie Stitcher. This was a complete surprise. Not everything is in here because there's a bag of candy at work and there is a giant thing of Tim Tams in my kitchen. Never had those before. They're pretty awesome. She sent me these Cadbury Caramello Koalas. Australia's Strawberry Licorice Bites. Alan's Australian made Snakes Alive, which are like gummy bears, like snakes. This is a surprise because this was for Jim and he wants to show it in his video. Girl was real generous and I love you, girl. She sent me some linen, a piece of Under the Sea Fabrics Evergreen, which is this beautiful like teal and sky blue. That's pretty because I've got sunlight coming in. That's pretty true color. It's a beautifully large piece and I have to find something perfect to go on it. There is this piece from Color Cascade, which is an Australian company that I have ordered from before, and it's a beautiful orange. What does it say this color is? Doesn't say. If I find it, I'll let you know. But it's Belfast. It's a beautiful orange. And then I left these on here so I wouldn't lose them. Awesome little koala bear. And then if you have kids around, avert their eyes. And then she sent me some fabrics, which I'll put the plastic back around. I mean, they're beautiful. Oh, that one feels so nice. This fabric, which is just beautiful. I look at these and I don't necessarily see bags. I see putting them in a quilt. That one in particular. This is an Australian printed fabric, a batik. And she told me what this bird is. It's an actual Australian bird. These are my colors. I love that. This feels almost like it's not 100% cotton. Maybe, Belinda, maybe I'll make me a shirt or something out of this. I mean, this is beautiful. I love this. It would really make a nice piece of clothing. And then this is another batik. And it's got turtles on it. You can tell. See the little turtles? It's really beautiful. Thank you, Belinda. You went over the top. I said there was some barter and trade. There was a lady who contacted me on my bag page and said that she really wanted one of my bags, but, you know, she wanted to know if rather than taking cash payment, if I would be willing to work with her and trade for an out-of-print chart. And she said it was a primitive needle chart that she didn't think that I had. It was ABC Hornbook. She was like, I would trade you this chart for one of your bags. This is worth more than one of my bags. So agreed with her, this chart for a bag. But then, like, she wanted to be surprised. So I gathered, like, her taste and things that she liked and colors and artwork. And I made her 2 bags. And the agreement was I send her a bag, she sends me this. So I made her 2 bags. And she sent me this into this. We all know what this is. Susan, I feel like I need to make you another bag or 2. These are wonderful. It was incredibly sweet. She sent a really sweet card with it. And I encourage more stitchers to do things that way. Gift each other things, trade things. You don't have to have a lot of money to get a hold of what you want. Do something that you're good at and trade out with another stitcher. So she and I did that. Everything else was haul. This is fabric because Diana approached Olivia B and I and said, let's do a quilt along, because there is this new fabric line that came out that all 3 of us loved. So she picked a beginner friendly quilt pattern, this yellow brick road quilt that we're all going to do in a throw size. I'm not starting this until we're moved because, and we're doing it in this new front yard fabrics by, I think these are cotton and steel, yeah. Mushrooms. There's a lot of like reds and stuff, but I'm doing mine all in green and blue tones. So you've got these. I love gnomes. I don't know why this one came in plastic and the rest didn't. Little frogs. That same print in black. And then these are just kind of coordinating clover prints. This is enough to do a throw size quilt top, just the top, according to that pattern, because it's made out of fat quarters. And in order to keep it to the colors that I wanted, I got a half yard of a couple of them, or several of them. So that's a project that I'll start in the new house. This came in the mail today. I haven't even opened it. I think I told you guys that I joined the thread club for Victorian motto threads because I fell in love with them. This is the Primitive Floss Club that she does, limited editions. These are some pretty pastel colors. They smell interesting. I will use most of these. I'm showing you, don't worry. Wandering Vines, Rose Cameo, Hint of Tangerine, Romaine, Country Ribbon. All of these I can see me using mixed with some darker shades. This one I'm not so sure. Sampler Rose. It's really pink. Maybe I'll use it. So if you subscribe to these, maybe, and you got Sampler Rose, and you're thinking, oh, I wish I'd gotten 2 of those, hit a girl up. Maybe if you got Romaine and think that it's disgusting, we can trade or something, because that Romaine is really nice. It's like a nice celadon green. So there's that. Guys, now we got charts. And I'm looking at my timer at the bottom, and what my phone has been doing is cutting off and then like starting a new video without telling me. So if there's a weird cut here or in a minute, that's what's going on. This was a great price. So this I picked up. This is Courtney Collection Alphabet Song. I don't know when or if or how I'll start this, but the price was so good. And that it was free. Because this was picked up by Lisa Silver Stitcher for me at, Lisa, did you go to a Stitch-In or Stitch Trade or something? But she was like, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, it's Courtney Collection, because I love all of their stuff. So we went to a Stitch and Get Together. She gave this to me. So Lisa, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had this in haul and this was a gift. Let's see. These two I picked up the same day at that Stitch and Get Together at Caroline's. This is Historic Stitches, the John Foster 1885 sampler. Really pretty. One I hadn't seen before. This is one I've actually been looking for. I've been looking for this and hadn't seen it. This is, it must have been something that Gentle Art and Long Dog Samplers did together. So this is Cardinal Points. It's very bright. We all know that I'm going to darken this up, but it's beautiful. Get it a little closer where you can see it. The wording says, the gentle art of a needlewoman lies embodied in her work. Here's a couple of more Blackburn charts that I got once I started and realized how much I loved her style. This one is the Country House sampler. It's a smaller one, because Lord knows I need a few smaller pieces thrown in there. This is Pains of Love. Very pretty. Pains of love be sweeter far than all other pleasures are. I love all of the animals on this one. The rabbits, the deer. This border is all squirrels and acorns. I know you can't really see it. Yeah, all squirrels and acorns. It's a really beautiful piece. This is a piece that I bought on one of the stash and load sites. Don't remember which one, because it was an amazing price. And pieces like this, guys, it's so easy to change the colors. Like, a lot of people would look at this and go, I don't like pink and purple, so I'm not interested in that. Just don't do it in pink and purple. And there was someone else doing this on Instagram a while ago. I believe it was one of the UK stitchers. I can't remember. But I remember thinking when she was doing it, just how absolutely gorgeous it was. This is the Anne Langley sampler. It's another stash and load. I picked this up because it looks like a morning sampler because of the tombstone in the middle. And it's got a big cow on it and a horse and a ship, and it's just awesome. It says, how doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour, and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. I love this. I love it. This is the Sophie R. Fielder sampler from Threads of Gold. Ever since I watched Flannel Jamie's Farm do her interview with, gosh, I can't remember her name. Pat? I'm probably wrong, and if so, I apologize. About samplers and why they are the way they are, and like a girl is showing her knowledge and education level with the more alphabet numbers that she puts in. This young lady did her numbers all the way up to 100. And it's just, I think it's a really, really lovely sampler, especially after knowing that history. And they're very, very faint, a lot of the stitching in there. Which I think I would want it to be slightly more noticeable. But I think this is one I would want to keep kind of true to the original. So pretty. Charlotte Frobisher. It's a Federal style sampler from 1805. This is R&R Reproductions. This is one that I grabbed because of the wording. I was having kind of a sentimental day, and it says, honor thy mother, for her arms secured thee from 1,000 harms. I can see me stitching this one day, and it will be very, very, very meaningful. Flosstube itchy nose. This is a older cricket collection. Maybe not. This is number 163. In the Beginning. Gotta love a good Adam and Eve piece. Not all the cricket collections are cutesy. There are some really nice older ones out there, which is actually funny because there was one that I found that was just a beautiful kind of almost band sampler with a Nordic feel to it that I hadn't seen, that I grabbed, and it came in the mail, or so I thought, with what was supposed to travel with it. And I opened it up, and it was some cutesy Christmas charts and a black swan fairy chart. So I messaged the seller. She's supposed to be tracking down where my chart went and getting that to me and sending me something to mail these back to her in so they can go to whoever actually ordered a fairy and cutesy Christmas chart. Because I didn't. This is it's McKenna's Vault Stack, because this is, I think, all except for the last one from the attic. Yep. We have Elizabeth Baker, 1844. This is a Pineberry Lane. This is one that I loved the verse. Youth is the morning, bright and gay, and if 'tis spent in wisdom's way, We meet old age without dismay, and death is sweet at last. It's a really beautiful, beautiful little piece. This is Ann Powell by Pineberry Lane. Anne Barlow, 1829 by Pineberry Lane. I love the reds in this. The reds were beautiful. The motifs. Pledge of Love by Pineberry Lane. Oh, let my name engraven stand, both on thy heart and on thy hand. Seat me upon thine arm and wear that pledge of love forever there. It's pretty. This is Sarah Ann Siddons, 1860. And this is actually, I guess, this designer, Hawkins House Reproduction Samplers. It's from Americus, Georgia. Huh. It's a nice, simple sampler with motifs and animals and borders and the alphabet. I don't want to say it's a nice filler sampler if you had a sampler wall, but it's a nice filler sampler if you had a sampler wall. Two more things, guys, I promise. I did not realize I bought this much. So, this chart I stumbled upon for sale, and I had seen it before, and I love it every time I see it. There's a couple of people on Instagram that I've seen work on it in the past. It has a lot of pinks, guys, but I would stitch it just like this because it is beautiful. So maybe those pinks could be a conversion, and I could use them in this. We'll see. It's got a duck on it. Big mallard duck. Birds, lions, sheeps, crazy looking squirrels, and possibly the most beautiful border I have ever seen. This is the Susan Rambo 1839 sampler. It is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that border. If you want to really be impressed, just Google Susan Rambo sampler and look at some pictures of people that have stitched or are stitching this and just how beautiful this stitches up. This is by Cross Point Designs. Last thing of haul over here. We still got to get to gem stuff. Caroline, whose house we go to for the Hawkran Hollow, finished her Linen and Threads 2017 Mystery Sampler. I've seen a couple of other people finish their versions recently, like Dee. I saw that you finished yours, which was a narrower strip of the piece. They're beautiful. I loved it when people were initially doing it, and now I think it's time for me to give it a shot. I haven't started it yet. I meant to have started it already, but I have not. It's this. Let me see. The whole piece is here. No, I don't even know what this is. Linen and Threads. It's a free piece, guys. You can download it still online. So you've seen this before. Just look up the hashtag on Instagram or look up this online. It's this size, but just lots of bands. There's a different band or a couple of small bands for every month of the year. Maybe I'll start this in January. I don't know. I may take out a band or two to make it fit on a fat quarter easily, or I might just start dangerously close to the top. We'll see. I'm trying my hand at 40 count again with this piece. I may have lost my mind, but I bought a light color, so hopefully it will be easier. This is a piece of Picture This Plus Wren. Oh, it's funny. They left the tag on it where I bought it from 123 Stitch. The tag where they bought a full yard of it. So that says a full yard, and then this is a fat quarter. That's funny. But this is Ren. And I've decided I want to do it in a DMC thread, but one of the color variations threads. This goes from like a terracotta to brown and a brick color. I think that's going to be nice. Last thing, guys. I'll let Jim tell the full story. I won't give, or her. Jim went to the longest yard sale last weekend. I was working. It was a Saturday I was working. And ran into a Flosstuber there. Although he was in his own little world. But she walked up to him and asked him if he was who she thought he was. Anyway, that'll be a fun story for him and her to tell. I won't steal their thunder. But near where he saw her, Jim bought me this piece, which is going in the kitchen of the new house. It is absolutely beautiful. This vintage piece that my husband scored at the longest yard sale, $5. Man can find a bargain. He also got me this, which I have cleaned the frame on, and cleaned the frame on, and cleaned the frame on. The drawing is a little worse for wear, but she's still beautiful. Stitching friend Caroline told me of a glass shop that I can go to. No, Caroline didn't tell me that. One of my volunteers did. To buy a new piece of bubble glass to go on the front because her glass has been broken and it's gone. But she's really pretty. Looks kind of sad. I think she'll look happier once she has glass and is back on the wall and being loved and not living in someone's attic or barn. She's really pretty. So guys, I have gone on and on and on for knocking on 50 minutes now. So I'm going to wrap this up. Making sure that I'm not forgetting anything. I'm sure I am. So like I said, next time you see me, I might be in the new house. I'm tempted to put a picture in of what it looks like. And I will after this if I can get it to do that. My editing program hasn't been enjoying inserting pictures lately. But if I can, I will. If not, you guys will get a surprise walkthrough maybe in the next video after we're actually in there. But thanks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for listening to me drone on about personal things. And happy stitching. Bye, guys.